Another thing I enjoyed were these maps. Miss Kelly was marvelous in teaching us geography, and I had an older brother who was just fantastic in geography, and he knew every country all over the world. I don't quite know why he picked up that talent or that love, but he sort of gave it to me. And I think maybe it was Miss Kelly that gave it to all of us, because we just loved to look at the maps and see where the different countries were. And my family was from France. My father was French, and she pointed out exactly where France was on here. And so I knew that that's where my family was from. And then I also, my grandmother was from New Canaan, had been grown up there. And I was kind of confused as why I couldn't see New Canaan on a map like this. But I learned that not everything shows up because the world is very big, and we learned that from Miss Kelly, marvelous teacher.
We started with geography about the United States, and I think we all knew in the first grade what the states were and the capitals, and all the time in the background were these wonderful Rand McNally pull-down maps. And how amazing, they did precede the Aesop's Fables, because the dates on those are 1890. So that would make them how old? 1890, 1990?
120
yes,
plus years.
and they look it too. I mean,
it just zeroed in on one specific spot, but then the rest of the stuff was pink, and there was sort of nothing there. I would imagine that was probably this part of Europe, which Europe we learned about, but this part of Asia and Africa, North Africa, didn't exist on the map. It was just a vague nothingness.
I was fascinated with usually the history and the geography. Miss Kelly had maps and a globe that she used constantly. And if we were reading something and the name of a place came up, immediately we were shown where it was, and it was just so interesting the way she presented everything.
and the other thing that's so remarkable is that the British Empire was still part of the mapping. So everything was pink that was to do with England. So we had Canada, Australia, parts of Africa. I'm not sure about, India, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love looking at the murals on the wall. They've all been redone, so they're even more beautiful now than they were.
It was in the early 30s when they were done, and there was a big to-do over it, as I recall.
They were part of the WPA program. And I think that's why there was so much controversy.
And we would do our assignments when we weren't up at the front with Miss Kelly. But when we're done with the assignments, you just sit here and daydream a little bit. And I remember just looking at these Aesop Fable murals and loving them all. I think my favorite one was the wind and the sun. Kindness is always more powerful than severity. And I didn't quite know what severity was when I was in the second grade, but I learned. And I loved seeing that the sun came out and made the man take his coat off and beat the wicked old wind.
Yeah, well, she always told us the story, and we were fascinated by them, and we never forgot them. And she always, and we, as you said, they went over more than once. We knew the stories by heart, but they still were nice to hear.
I think my favorite Aesop's Fable was The Sun and the Wind, which was the one right in the middle in the front, where the basic message was that kindness is going to get you more than bullying, which of course I loved. I mean, I thought they were just gorgeous art and loved them.
When you see the paintings that are in the building that you looked at all day long, that were way high on the wall above the door that you entered into the place, it not only reminds you of the art that was so important that was being done then, so it wasn't just academic studies of math and spelling and writing and history and whatever, but it took your mind beyond those subjects that you could also focus on at other times.
But they were fantastic. If if you were waiting for your turn, it kept you occupied. And I don't know how many times Miss Kelly talked about the different fables and just was able to keep us spellbound.